At a family dinner, my husband's aunt looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're not raising your daughter right. She already acts too much like you." Everyone laughed. I smiled and said nothing. When we got home, I sat my husband down and asked, "What do you think she meant?" He said, "It's not worth getting into." So I got into it with a list of conditions for staying in this marriage. None of them involved his family. We live just outside Charleston, West Virginia. Not a big town, not small either. People know each other. They remember things. I've been married to Kyle for 11 years. We have a daughter, Ava. She just turned 7. Sweet, smart, doesn't take crap from anyone. That last part? That's what his family hates. That's what started this whole thing. It was a Sunday dinner. His Aunt Deborah was hosting. Her house smells like perfume and garlic and bad opinions. I always go quiet when we're there, mostly for Ava's sake. But I knew something was coming. You can always feel it when they're gearing up to say something mean, and tonight, Deborah was drinking fast. Dinner was pot roast, overcooked. Ava was picking at the carrots. Kyle was talking to his cousin, not really paying attention. That's when Deborah said it. "You're not raising your daughter right. She already acts too much like you." She said it flat. Cold. Like she was giving a weather report. Then came the laughs. Not just hers. His mom, his sister, even his cousin chuckled. Kyle didn't laugh, but he didn't say anything either. He just looked at his plate. I smiled. A big fake one. I said nothing. Ava looked up at me, confused. I gently told her to finish her food. But inside, I felt something pull tight. I didn't eat a single bite after that. When we got home, I put Ava to bed and then found Kyle on the couch, scrolling his phone. I sat across from him. "What do you think she meant by that?" I asked. He didn't even look up. Just mumbled, "It's not worth getting into." That was the moment. The moment I decided I wasn't going to be quiet anymore. I walked into our bedroom, sat at the desk, and wrote out a list. Not a long one. Just 4 things. 4 things that needed to change if I was going to keep this marriage alive. The next morning, I handed it to him. My conditions: 1. No more family dinners unless I want to go. 2. If anyone makes a rude comment about me or Ava, he shuts it down out loud, right then and there. 3. His family doesn't get to call or come over unless I say it's okay. 4. If I feel disrespected again and he does nothing, I'm out. No discussion. I leave. He read the list slowly, said nothing for a minute, then looked at me like I'd kicked his dog. "This is insane," he said. No, I told him. What's insane is letting people treat me like trash while you stay silent. He tried to argue, said his family's just old school, that they don't mean anything by it. But that's the problem. They've never meant anything by it, and yet they've always done it. After that, I stopped answering calls. I told Ava we were taking a break from seeing her grandma and aunts. She didn't ask questions. She was fine. That told me a lot. A week later, Kyle's mom sent me a text, "We miss Ava. Hope you're not keeping her from us over nothing." I showed it to Kyle. He sighed. "Just ignore it." "No," I said. "You need to respond. You tell her we're setting boundaries. You tell her I'm not a babysitter or a punching bag." He didn't want to, but he did. Said it as softly as he could. Her response? Sounds like someone's getting ideas above her station. That's when I took his phone, called her, and put it on speaker. "Hi, Judy," I said. "Let's clear something up. I'm not keeping Ava from you. You are. You and your sister and your comments. You treat me like I'm nothing, and I'm supposed to smile and keep showing up? Not anymore." She hung up. He was quiet for the rest of the night. But the worst wasn't over. Not yet. The calls stopped after that. No texts. No surprise visits. It was like someone flipped a switch. Kyle didn't talk much either. I could feel the distance growing, like we were sleeping in separate lives, not just separate sides of the bed. One night, maybe 2 weeks later, I went to grab his phone to set an alarm. He was in the shower, and I saw a message pop up from his sister. Can't believe you're still letting her run things. Grow a pair. I didn't open it. I didn't have to. The screen flashed again. Mom says she saw her at Walmart, alone. Probably making up lies about us again. My hands shook. I waited. I didn't say anything right then. I waited for him to come out. I held up the phone. You want to explain this? He froze. Looked from the phone to me like a deer caught in traffic. I didn't say anything to them, he said. They're just mad because we haven't been around. And you didn't think maybe that would be a good time to say, hey, my wife has a point? Or even, stop insulting the mother of my child. He didn't answer. That night, I slept in the guest room. He tried to talk the next morning, but I was done with words. I called my sister, asked if Ava and I could stay for a few days. Packed a bag while Kyle stood in the hallway saying, don't do this. It's just a fight. It's not worth breaking up over. But it wasn't just a fight. It was a slow death from paper cuts. It was years of silence, of letting me bleed for the sake of keeping peace with people who never cared about me. Ava and I stayed with my sister for a week. During that time, Kyle never once came by. He called once, left a voicemail, said he was thinking about everything. But I was already thinking ahead. I saw a lawyer, just to understand my rights. I didn't make a decision yet. I needed more. A few days later, my sister told me Kyle's mom had come to her shop asking about me. She was all smiles, my sister said. Tried to act like she was just concerned, but it was fake as hell. She said, Tina can be so emotional sometimes. She just needs to calm down. That was it. I knew then, this wasn't going to fix itself. So I went back home, but not to make peace. I walked in, found Kyle on the couch. I handed him a folder. Inside were printed screenshots, his sister's texts, his mom's comments, my list of conditions again. I'm not here to argue, I told him. I'm here to see what side you're on. Because I'm done playing the quiet wife. He opened the folder. Read everything. Looked like he might cry, but he didn't say a damn word. I'll give you a week, I said. You decide. Your family or your marriage. And don't say both, unless you're ready to stand up to them. Because if I go back to that house and someone disrespects me again, I'm walking out and you'll be explaining to Ava why. I left the folder on the table. I meant every word. 3 days passed. No answer. Kyle didn't bring up the folder. Didn't ask to talk. He went to work, came home, ate dinner across the table from me in silence. But I noticed something. He had his phone with him all the time. Took it to the bathroom. Slept with it under his pillow. That wasn't like him. So one night, I waited until he was asleep. Light snore, mouth open, dead to the world. I took the phone from under his pillow and unlocked it with his fingerprint while he was still knocked out. What I found? Not just texts. He had a private Facebook group chat with his mom, sister, Aunt Deborah, and cousin Mark. The name of the group? Family First. Always. The messages dated back months, maybe longer. I scrolled past them joking about how controlling I was, how I brainwashed Ava, how I emasculated Kyle. They even made fun of me for starting a small online business last year. But one message stopped me cold. It was from Deborah, 2 nights ago. I told you she'd make it about her. Always does. Let her leave if she wants. You'll find someone better. And Kyle's reply? I'm not losing Ava over this. Just let me get through the next few weeks and I'll figure something out. Let me get through the next few weeks and I'll figure something out. I took a screenshot. Then 10 more. Every nasty comment. Every time they called me crazy. Every message Kyle didn't defend me. I backed them up to my cloud drive. Then I put the phone back. The next morning, I told him I was taking Ava to my sister's again for the weekend. He didn't argue. Said, okay, like we were talking about groceries. While I was gone, I did 2 things. First, I emailed copies of the messages to myself. Labeled and dated. Second, I booked an appointment with a family counselor, just for me and Ava. I told them the truth. Her father's family was toxic, and she was being raised in a house full of hidden hate. That Monday, I came home early while Kyle was at work. I packed half of what I owned. Clothes, Ava's things, documents, laptop. Everything I needed. I left behind the wedding photo. But I also left behind something else. On the dining room table, I left a printed packet. Full color. Tabs and highlights. On the front page, you said you'd figure something out. So I did it for you. I waited 2 days before I heard anything. No calls. No texts. Then, out of nowhere, Kyle showed up at my sister's doorstep. Ava was at school. My sister was at work. It was just me and him. He looked tired. Messy. Like he hadn't slept. He held the packet in his hand. "Is this supposed to scare me?" he asked. I stood in the doorway. "No. It's supposed to wake you up." He laughed once. Bitter. "You've lost it." "I found it," I said. "I found the truth in your pocket." He stepped closer. "You're tearing this family apart." "No, Kyle," I said. "They did. And you helped them." He looked at me then, like he was about to say something kind. Something to win me back. But that moment passed fast. "They were just venting," he said. "We all say things when we're mad." They weren't mad. They were comfortable. They've always been comfortable talking about me like that. And you never stopped them. He crossed his arms. "So what now? You want a divorce? You want to ruin Ava's life just to prove a point?" "No," I said. "I want Ava to grow up knowing what not to accept." He looked away. "You're just like your dad," I said. "Always the victim. Never the one holding the knife." That hit him. I saw it. But I didn't care. It was the truth. You let them tear me down for years. You let them act like I wasn't good enough, smart enough, strong enough. And when I finally stood up, you called me dramatic. His jaw tightened. "So yeah," I said. "I talked to a lawyer. I talked to a counselor. I'm filing next week." He blinked. "You're serious?" "I am." That's when he snapped. "You'll regret this," he hissed. "I'll fight for full custody. My family will testify. We'll show every message you've sent, every time you lost your temper." I stared at him. "Then I'll show the messages you sent. The ones about getting through the next few weeks. The ones where your family joked about replacing me. The ones you laughed at." He went quiet. "You think the court's going to side with people who mock a mother for loving her kid too much?" He stepped back. "You think you're so smart." "No," I said. "I just stopped being quiet." He turned and walked out. I didn't cry. I didn't chase after him. 2 months later, we were in court. He tried to paint me as emotional, unstable. His lawyer brought up that I moved out without warning. But I had the records, the messages, the therapist's notes, the school reports showing Ava was thriving. His own words betrayed him. The judge granted joint custody, but Ava lived with me. Full-time. He got weekends. Supervised for the first 3 months. That was almost a year ago. He still tries to play the victim. Tells people I turned cold. Says I broke up the family. But I didn't break anything. I saved what mattered. And the truth? I made mistakes too. I waited too long to speak up. I let myself get smaller for the sake of peace. I smiled when I should have walked out years ago. But now? Now Ava grows up hearing a new kind of laughter. Not the kind that hides hate. The kind that says, "We're finally free."